Welcome to your doom. Shut it and get over here. Massive uppercut!
Hello and welcome to another edition of the JabJab Show. Today I'm reviewing the movie Allied. This is directed by Robert Zemeckis, who's directed the Back to the Future trilogy, Castaway, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Romance in the Stone, Jewel in the Nile, What Lies Beneath, a whole host of other films, and very prolific over the past 30 or so years. This film stars Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard. That's how you say name if you're French. And there's also Lizzy Caplan in there as well. So is this film about Allied carpets? Half-remembered British carpet shop from back in the day. Say Brad Pitt plays the manager, Marion Cotillard plays the he's second in command. But he gets intel from somewhere that she is working for a rival carpet shop, and he needs to find out, infiltrate certain lines in order to find out what's really going on with their character. That joke don't really work unless you have passing knowledge of carpet shops from back in the day. And even if you do, it probably don't work anyway. No, let's not be silly. No, actually the film is set in 1942. Brad Pitt plays Max Vatan, who's this intelligence officer. He meets this mysterious woman played by Marion Cotillard. The character name is Marion Bourgeois. Marianne. And they get together, they pose as a team, as a French married couple in order to take down a Nazi ambassador. A short while later, they actually get married in real life, or the film's real life, I should say. And cut forward a few, quite a way further. News gets to Max that Marianne is not all who she seems, and he has to find out the truth behind her. So the Max character is kind of like a 1940s Bond. He's got multiple passports. He's meeting certain people at certain times and certain places and all the certain rendezvous points, and he's using code words and what have you. And he meets up with Marianne, who's kind of more of a stickler for the little details. When they're posing as a man and wife, she's kind of like that correcting how he says certain phrases and what have you. She's very particular about certain things. Although there is one scene fairly early on after they kind of get together. They're on a rooftop, and they know they're being watched and what have you. And I'm thinking, well, shouldn't they really be speaking French in this scene? I feel Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard work well together in this film, and the action is mostly solid throughout. Especially mentioned, I feel, does go to Brad Pitt, because in the scenes where he's being told certain things about his wife and what he has to do in order to kind of find out if they're true or not, he's really good in these scenes. And also the one directly after this, when he goes to see his wife for the first time, since hearing about certain things. That's all really well done. I do feel, I don't want to spoil anything, but I do feel certain character motivations. There's a house party and certain bits near the end. I'm not quite convinced that they are consistent with that character's kind of how they are and so on, leading up to these moments and so on. This film is very well made. Set design is great. You got the lavish interiors. The locations are great. The street signs, the street stores, the shops there, the fashion, the vehicles, everything just makes it feel authentic to the time period. The shot composition is nice. There's another nice framing and camera work. The camera would move from one thing to another thing, back again, in order to create a whole scene in and of itself. There's lots of mirror shots as well, to create some kind of visual shorthand. It's really well planned out, really well produced, well directed. But my main issues with the film is down to the story though. I found it quite a slow moving film, which I guess does reflect the tone they're going for, I get that, but there's some really odd creative decisions made. There's a conversation they have in a desert just because. They don't really explain why they have to have this one bit of conversation, which is a continuation of a conversation they were previously having in a room somewhere, which kind of explain why the desert. I'm guessing they had a desert for a day and they had to make as much kind of use of it or something. I don't know. And there's also a car sex scene during a sandstorm, which I just found a bit odd. As I said, I don't want to spoil anything for you. There's a house party, there's a lot of suspicion flying around. By this time in the film, there's a few more people in on what's happening and so forth. I'm not really too sure it all adds up. Saying if Marion feels that Max is a bit different with her, as she has said previously in the film or whatever. I'm not sure if she would act the way she was acting and so on. It's very difficult to kind of not spoil anything one way or the other. But I just don't feel that she would really be the way she was, and not be suspicious herself, kind of thing. There's also numerous time jumps in the narrative in this film. I get that back in 1942 they didn't have the surveillance equipment and the facilities, etc., in order to find out certain things about people. But as it all plays out, and again, I don't want to spoil anything, but as it all plays out, there's one time jump in particular that I've got an issue with because of how it all plays out. So overall, I feel this film is very well made. It's pretty good acting for the most part of it, and there's a couple of tense scenes as well. For example, when Max gets instructions to wait for a phone call at a certain time of the night, and write down the instructions he's given, and then put the instructions at the side of his bed and so forth. He's in bed waiting for this phone call, and as the seconds on the clock ticking down and whatever, he's getting a bit kind of nervous. His wife jumps in bed with him. She's a little amorous, shall we say. He gets the phone call. It's alluded that she's doing a certain thing to him, and as a result, he's find it's difficult to kind of concentrate and write down what he's been given. He actually does write down what he's been given, but I just thought maybe it'd be more fun if he wrote down the sex act which is alluded to, what's happening at the time. That'd make it a bit more fun, because I found this film, well produced and well made. I found it a bit kind of joyless, really. So them's my opinions. What's yours? And yours, and yours, and yours, and yours. Just let me know down below in the comment section down there. What's your favourite Robert Zemeckis film? Oh, fun question. I'll just throw that out to you. There you go. Have that question. Like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends and everything. And in the words of Lily Cyrus, send the word.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.